KTM Duke 200 and a blown fuse. A bit on the KTM Duke later, but first had a bit of an issue with my bike again.
Anyway, the other day I rode to work, running late, and I thought I'd take my motorbike as where I've been mainly cycling. And on the way back from work, I noticed that my indicator wasn't working. So pretty much had about 10k ride back home doing hand signals, which is something I'm not used to on the motorbike. And I guess it was commonplace once before indicators. It was okay indicating, hand signaling left, but turning right was different. Mainly because as soon as I took my hand off the accelerator, being a twin, there's a lot of engine braking, the bike would slow down. But afterwards I thought if you had to indicate that way, probably to pull in the clutch and then let your hand off the accelerator and the bike will only slow down slowly. So yeah, probably a little tip. Maybe it's what other people did or do if indicators don't work. But yeah, anyway, what I'm going to do today is the reason why my indicators weren't working. I'll just show you. So little toggle switch here. So nothing happening at all. Turn signal should be flashing, and that was a sort of indication that something was badly going wrong, and I thought it's not a bulb, it's something else. So I took the tank off, and to do that is a bit of a process, but it's not that hard. Pulled out the fuel, turned it off here, and opened the seat. Little pins that you pull off, and then you just lift the tank off, and underneath, which I won't do because I'm too lazy, is all the electrics and stuff. When I was doing this, my father-in-law was giving me a hand, and he told me, no, the fuse box will be somewhere easily accessible, and it actually turns out they are. Right under here, which I've got the cover off, under here you can see two fuses here. One fuse is removed because it was burnt out, and that fuse was doing all of the switches on this side apart from the headlights, so the horn and the indicator, and I'm guessing possibly my added heated grips. Mind that was put on afterwards and it's probably quite dodgy, but it seems to work fine. Maybe that caused the problem. So I removed the screws from this little box here and the cover came off, and found the two fuses, with one being burnt. There's just the fuse door there which I can put back on. This is the fuse here, blown. So he told me to wrap it in tin foil and put it back in and see if the indicators work. And they did. So obviously this was a blown fuse, so it's not rocket science, but it was just to sort of eliminate the problems a bit further, just in case something else had blown. And so I've got a new fuse and I'm gonna stick it back in and let's see if it works. Must be an older version of what fuses look like, or maybe there's a reason why, but this ceramic with a bit of copper, or these ones, I don't know what it is. Probably just a little bit of some sort of conductive metal of some sort. So I'm guessing it's the same as this white one here, the 3 amp, just because I've got a bit of the metal left. Let's put it in here and hopefully we don't have flames and electric shocks. Always a bit paranoid about that with electrics. So it just squeezes in like that. That seems to be holding alright. So what I might do now is just turn the ignition on and check to see if the indicators work. And no sparks or anything flares up which may have caused the fuse to go, but we'll see. So ignition on and indicators are working. Isn't that fantastic? Just check all the bulbs. Yep. And it's burst. So what has happened is I've flicked it to the other side and something has shorted out that fuse, not knowing what it is. So what I might do is put a bigger fuse in. So as you can see, the fuse here has broken, and that's an 8 amp fuse. No idea why, but we'll find out. So I'm just going to try and put a 16 amp in and see what happens. Thinking that there may be a bigger problem in blowing fuses if that amp that blew. So what I might do is just leave that there and turn it on, and we'll see if the fuse pops when I put the indicators on. So I'll turn it on, and now I'll put, oh, it did again. Something made it pop. Okay, I have a problem. Something is wrong with the electrics. Not good. Back to the drawing board, guys.
As I couldn't be faff fixing the indicators and, well, actually couldn't be faff doing hand signals, my friend Mark let me borrow his Duke 200, or KTM Duke 200, which he's selling, and kind of tempted with all my engine problems and stuff that's been going on with the bike. Here's a bit of a start-up sound. He's added a few bits onto this bike, namely the exhaust, and hand guards and the visor. Not so keen on the visor, but I don't mind the exhaust and the hand guards, but it's a pretty good bike. So this is Mark and his new bike, hence why he wants to sell his bike. Yeah, it's only a 200, but it's probably a lot more powerful than any other 200 I've ridden before. I had a bit of get up and go, hit the rev limiter every now and then. But yeah, I really liked it. 6-speed. I'm not too sure how much horsepower, but plenty, enough to overtake. But as a sort of general commuter and a bit of take out on the twisties, it's actually the perfect bike, I found out. Here we go, heading up to the tunnel, where myself and Grant played a duet of the two bikes, the single and the triple. That was a bit of a racket. Yeah, so back to that fuse issue. If any of you viewers know what possibly could be going wrong, if it's a relay or something with the bulbs or a known problem, I'd really appreciate your comments or any suggestions on a fix. I'm going to have a bit of a tackle on it next week. Maybe we're doing a bit of video. But yeah, sort of been thinking, do I sell the BMW and get a little bike, something a bit more fuel efficient and a bit of fun? Or do I stick with it, as it's quite a classic bike, even though there's always ongoing fixing. So also appreciate your views as well. But yeah, this KTM is awesome. I mean, if I was learning to ride, this would be the bike I use. Good off-road, even though this is not technically off-road, but a good all-rounder. Here we all deciding which way to go, which is quite a common theme for motorcyclists around Governor's Bay. Go the pass or go to Gibby's. We all didn't know what we were doing, and then I realised that I was really low on fuel. But the KTM's awesome with its little gimmicky computer. It tells you when you're out of fuel how many Ks you got left and all that kind of stuff. So I had a bit of an insurance policy there, knowing how far I would get to the petrol station. Only cost about $15 to fill up as well. Heading down here, my mate stopped and videoed me going around the corner. Had noticed that till afterwards. But yeah, being a single, it's not too vibratey, it's quite smooth. As I mentioned in a minute, there's a lot of gear changing, which I really enjoy, but I guess for every day that could become a bit of a task, but also I find that pretty satisfying. The power is fine, easily get up to 100, apparently you can get up to about 130, but I'll pull over and chat to a few mates here.
I'm actually really tempted to buy this. To be honest, it's all you need, 200. I'm tempted to buy it, eh?
Are you?
Yeah. But when I see...
What would it be like once you got out of here? For a couple of hours?
Yeah, I think I'll get painful.
I reckon you could increase the gearing so it would be less revvy, which might satisfy it, but I don't know, would it have the grunt to accelerate then?
Well, I mean, I could overtake something easily at 100. 120 would be fine.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't go much over that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better off with a 390 or
I think so, yeah. Yeah, because you're constantly changing gear. It's quite fun because you're constantly having to change gear, like, to keep it in the power band. I'm tempted.
You take trade-ins for a BMW?
Yeah.
No indicators?
Anyway, this is 0 to 100 roughly in 10 seconds. Anyway, yep, $15 to fill up, not bad. Anyway, enjoy the vid and subscribe and comment. Okay, cheers, bye.